Who else would like 4 to 7 additional big cases every month from patients you're seeing in your practice right now today? Do you remember how it was a few years ago? Things were going great. Patients were streaming in your office, you're doing big cases left and right. Money was no problem because anybody that came in had a credit card with a big limit, or you could hook them up with third-party financing like Care Credit, right? You're working maybe 3 or 4 days a week, your practice was growing, your staff was happy, your patients were happy. What happened? The credit crunch. The money just dried up. Now, those big cases are few and far between, and the ones that do come in, it's basically a crapshoot on whether they get approved or not. Nationally, over half of those patients that are looking for third-party financing are getting sent out the front door of the practice with no work done. So what are you doing to make up for that? Those big cases, that's a huge chunk of your profit in the practice, isn't it? If you're like a lot of dentists, this is what you're doing. You're staying open later, you're working extra days, you're cutting your own salary, maybe you're laying off staff. Maybe that's still not enough. Maybe you're worried you won't be able to retire on time. Maybe you're worried you'll have to shut your practice down like dentists are doing every day. Now, if you have a patient in your office, if they've said yes to treatment, they're sitting in the financial coordinator's office and they can't get approved, you could let them make payments to you, right? Do in-office financing. Well, tell me if anything like this has crossed your mind. In-office financing, it's too complicated. Leave it to the banks. I'll focus on dentistry. Or maybe this one. In-office financing, it's too risky. Why would I take on a patient that the big banks have said no to? They know what they're doing. If it's too big of a risk for them, it's too big of a risk for me. Or maybe this one. In-office financing, yeah, I tried it. It didn't work. I stopped it soon after I started. My staff hated it. Nobody paid me, and it was a huge hassle. I'll never do it again. The fact is, over 82% of dentists think in-office financing is too risky, too complicated, or just plain too much of a hassle. Until now, because now you can do in-office financing totally risk-free. You can work the hours you want to work again instead of the hours you have to keep your practice afloat. And you can get a huge monthly check every month, regardless of how many days you take off. Do you want to know how? It's actually pretty simple when you have the right system in place. Think about something complex like traffic. Thousands of people driving thousands of places at once, all day, every day. It really should be chaos, but it's not because there's a system. There's stoplights, there's street signs, there's road dividers. It works because someone sat down and made a system. I've prepared a report that explains this system to you backwards and forwards. It's about 20 pages long and we'll walk you through it A to Z. It'll show you exactly how you can set up a system that works in your practice today, quickly, affordably, easily, and most importantly with zero risk to your practice. And I'll show you how to avoid all the pitfalls that dentists usually face, like staff resistance, high default rates, and extra workload. So here's what I want you to do. Enter your email address on this page and I'll email it to you right now. It'll come to your inbox so you can download it and read it whenever you like. There's no shipping or anything. It's totally no cost to you. Because once you read it, once you see the power of implementing a financing system that works in your practice, you can start doing the type of dentistry you like to do again. You can take days off without worrying. You don't have to stay open later, working more and more, trying to meet your obligations. You can go back to the way it was a few years ago when things were going smoothly. Enter your email address just to the right and the report's on the way.